In America, $500 now only covers the electricity bill, a few meals, or half a month's rent. But there are 5 countries where $500 a month is enough for a roof over your head, fresh food, internet, and a real life. No debt, no pressure. In 2025, rent in the U.S. has risen by more than 35%, health insurance has doubled, and over 400,000 Americans have left just this year. They didn't leave to travel. They left to survive. If you think you have to be rich to live abroad, you're about to be surprised. Because the places I'm about to show you don't require investment, don't tax your U.S. income, and allow easy residency with just a few simple documents. From the mountains of Southeast Asia to the shores of Central America, I'll show you 5 countries where $500 can buy an entirely new life. Peaceful, affordable, and so beautiful you'll wonder, why didn't I leave sooner? Dream it. Pack it. Go. 5. Nicaragua. The golden hammock of Central America, where $500 buys a month of peace. In February 2024, International Living ranked Nicaragua among the top 10 cheapest countries on the planet for retirees. And if you've ever heard that living on $500 a month is impossible, then San Juan del Sur, a small seaside town in southern Nicaragua, will make you think again. In America, $500 only covers half a month of electricity and insurance. But here, it can cover an entire month of living expenses, housing, food, utilities, internet, and even a few beers under the palm trees every evening. Nicaragua is often called the golden hammock of Central America, where life swings gently between freedom and simplicity. The government welcomes foreigners through the Pensionado Visa, a program designed specifically for retirees. As long as you have a retirement income of at least $600 per month, you can obtain long-term residency with exemptions on foreign income tax, import taxes on household goods, and one personal vehicle, and you can include your spouse. The process is simple, requiring no investment or home purchase, making Nicaragua one of the most accessible options for Americans seeking a fresh start. Nicaragua's economy still relies on agriculture, coffee, and tourism, which keeps living costs about 60–70% lower than in the U.S. The Cordoba remains stable. Inflation in 2024 stayed around 5%, and the U.S. dollar is widely accepted. This is a country where a modest pension can turn into a complete life. Not luxurious, but comfortable, free, and real. In San Juan del Sur, a small seaside town that was once a fishing village, you'll find a community of Americans, Canadians, and Europeans living peacefully amid the waves. Houses sit on the hillsides, overlooking a crescent-shaped bay, where every evening the sunlight pours over the sea like honey. According to Living Cost, a one-bedroom apartment outside the center costs only about $370 per month, while those in the center range from $420 to $500. A local meal costs $4, rice is 0.54 per pound, and utilities, electricity, water, and internet add up to around $40–50 a month. If you cook at home, $120 is enough for a month's worth of fresh groceries, fish, vegetables, fruit, and Nicaragua's signature coffee. Altogether, $500 a month is more than enough for one person to live neatly. With a small home, warm meals, steady internet, and free afternoons to walk down to the beach. San Juan del Sur has no skyscrapers or shopping malls, only dirt roads, cafes, farmers' markets, and yellow-painted houses with blue doors. The locals are kind, gentle, and live slowly. Each morning, you can sip black coffee by the sidewalk and watch fishing boats leave the bay. In the afternoon, stroll along the fine white sand, listen to the sea breeze whispering through the palm trees. By evening, Neighbors gather on their porches and share cold beers. In America, you might have every convenience, but here, you have neighbors, smiles, and silence. The expat community in San Juan del Sur is small but close-knit. They help each other find homes, recommend doctors, and share residency tips. Every week they meet at the market or in cafes, talking about daily life, visas, or simply watching the sea. Someone once said, "In the US, I had neighbors who didn't know my name. Here, everyone asks if I've had breakfast yet." When it comes to healthcare, San Juan del Sur has basic clinics and private doctors charging $25 to $30 per visit. Larger hospitals are in Rivas or Managua, about a 2-hour drive away. Many retirees choose international health insurance plans, costing $50 to $70 per month. Just enough peace of mind in case of surgery or major treatment. Public health care remains limited, but private clinics are efficient, friendly, inexpensive, and far faster than in the US. In terms of safety, Nicaragua is one of the most peaceful countries in Central America, according to the Global Peace Index. Violent crime is rare, petty theft exists, but is easy to avoid with care. San Juan del Sur is calm, and locals are respectful toward visitors. Natural events like storms or earthquakes may occur, but they're usually mild and quickly handled by authorities. The climate here is warm year-round, with average temperatures between 26 and 30 degrees Celsius. The dry season runs from November to April, while the rainy season brings short afternoon showers. Sea breezes keep the air cool, rarely humid. That's why many call this place the affordable California. Same latitude, same golden sunlight, but bills 10 times smaller. Nicaragua isn't a perfect paradise. The power can go out, the roads can be bumpy, and the Wi-Fi sometimes weak. But that's exactly what makes you live more honestly. No more racing, no more comparing. Only quiet afternoons on the porch, listening to the waves, realizing that $500 doesn't just buy you a month of living, it buys back the freedom you've lost for so long. If you ever thought retirement means the journey is over, Nicaragua will prove the opposite. Here, retirement means starting again, lighter, happier, and more real. And if you're watching this video, leave a line below in the comments. I choose Nicaragua. Because maybe that golden hammock is exactly where you'll stop, closing the tired chapters of your life and opening a new one where life is summed up in just 2 words: enough and peaceful. And if you feel that too, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments. If you could choose, where would you stop to live slower? 4. Morocco. The kingdom of wind and golden sand, where $500 buys a month of peace. In June 2023, Morocco appeared in International Living's list of top 10 destinations for retirees. What surprised everyone wasn't the scenery, but the number. A person can live an entire month here for around $500. In the US, $500 barely covers electricity and car insurance. But in Essaouira, the seaside city where the wind blows all year, you can rent a home, eat well, and still have enough left to enjoy coffee by the sea each morning. Morocco is a land of sunlight, wind, and afternoons scented with mint. But behind that exotic charm lies a remarkably friendly residency policy. Americans can stay visa-free for 90 days and apply for a long-term residence card, the carte de séjour, by showing proof of pension or stable income. No investment required, no age limit, just proof you can support yourself. Residents may be taxed on foreign pensions, but generous incentives apply. For example, in 2025, a 50% reduction if the transfer meets the right conditions. so always confirm with a tax advisor based on your personal circumstances. With mindful spending, $500 per month is completely achievable, especially in coastal cities like Essaouira. According to Numbeo, a small apartment outside the center rents for $280–320 per month. Utilities and internet are about $40. If you cook at home, $100 covers vegetables, fish, bread, and mint tea for the month. A cup of espresso costs $1, while lunch with lemon chicken tagine, couscous, and toasted bread is just $2–3. Here, everything is slower, cheaper, and beautifully livable. Essaouira was once an important Portuguese port, later renovated by the French, and still retains that timeless charm. White walls, blue doors, narrow alleys filled with wind and the smell of grilled fish. The city is small, but offers everything you need. There's a fresh seafood market every morning, private clinics, stable internet, and a friendly expat community. Americans, French, and British all sharing a simple, content life. No skyscrapers, no traffic jams, only the sound of waves and guitars on the street. Here, you don't need a car. Everything is within walking distance or a few minutes by taxi. Every evening, locals and expats gather by the shore, drinking thick mint tea and watching the sunset. That feeling has led many Americans to say, "I no longer live to pay bills, I live to breathe." When it comes to healthcare, Morocco has one of the fastest-growing private hospital systems in North Africa. In Essaouira, you can see a private doctor for just $15–25 per visit. Medicine is inexpensive, and many doctors speak English or French. For surgeries or specialized treatment, Casablanca and Rabat, just a few hours away, have international standard hospitals at costs 5 to 10 times lower than in the U.S. Many retirees choose international health insurance for $50–70 per month, ensuring both safety and flexibility for treatment in Europe when needed. Safety in Morocco, especially Essaouira, is highly reliable. It's one of the most peaceful tourist cities in North Africa. Little serious crime, no political unrest, and great respect for foreigners. Locals greet you with "Salam alaikum," not as a formality, but as a sincere blessing. Peace be upon you. When it comes to climate, Essaouira rarely gets hotter than 28 degrees. The sea breeze stays cool all year, neither humid nor dry, and there are no storms. Thanks to this weather, many people call it the cheap California. A California with no taxes, no traffic jams, and no triple-digit bills. Morocco has an interesting financial balance. Though the economy isn't rich, the cost of living remains steady. Inflation is low, electricity and water are subsidized by the government, and locals live at a grounded pace, buying from markets, eating at home, and sipping coffee on the street. Here, you're not pulled into consumption. You learn again how to live with just enough. If you've ever dreamed of a retirement with sun, sea, and a friendly community, but don't want to spend thousands each month, Essaouira is exactly that place. Here, $500 a month truly covers everything you need: a small home, fresh food, reliable internet, and basic, safe healthcare. You don't need more, just more time. In the US, $500 is an electric bill or a few dinners out. In Morocco, $500 is a month of peace. The feeling that you no longer owe time and no longer fear the sound of an alarm clock. And if you're watching this video, just leave one line below. I choose Morocco. Because maybe what you're searching for isn't a more expensive place, but one that's simply enough to live real. 3. Albania, the forgotten gem of the Mediterranean. In the summer of 2022, a retired American teacher named David Turner, 68, sold his house in Florida, withdrew all his savings, and bought a one-way ticket to Albania. a country he hadn't even heard of 5 years earlier. When his daughter asked, "Are you sure, Dad?" he simply smiled and said, "I'm tired. I need a place where people don't live by counting every bill." 6 months later, David sent back a photo. He was sitting on the balcony of a small apartment in the town of Oricum, gazing at the deep blue Adriatic Sea with a short caption, $500 a month, and I'm alive again. Albania, a name still unfamiliar to many Americans, is actually one of the cheapest and most welcoming countries in Europe. Americans can stay visa-free for up to 1 year, 4 times longer than most EU countries. If you want to stay longer, you only need to apply for a residence permit by proving stable income. No home purchase, no investment required. Personal income tax is lighter, and foreign income is largely exempt. Albania's economy is small, driven by tourism, agriculture, and remittances, which keeps the cost of living about 60% lower than in Italy or Greece. Yet what surprises most people is that life here doesn't feel poor at all. In Oricum, a quiet coastal town in the Vlore region, where green mountains meet silver seas, you can rent a bright sea view apartment for just $250–300 per month, pay $40 for utilities and internet, and spend about $150–180 a month on food. Altogether, it's under $500, but in return you get blue skies, fresh seafood, $1 espresso, and neighbors who will invite you to dinner if the power goes out. Oricum isn't noisy like Tirana or Vlore. It's quiet, clean, with seaside roads shaded by olive trees, and small shops grilling fish that fill the air with fragrance. In the morning, you hear waves instead of traffic. In the afternoon, the elderly sit on benches reading newspapers while children play in the sand. It's a real, simple life. And sometimes, you forget you're even in Europe. Albanians treat foreigners like friends. They're warm, hospitable, and especially kind to older people, calling you uncle or aunt as if you were family. David once shared that he lost his wallet at the market, and a 12-year-old boy rode 2 kilometers to return it. "I didn't understand what he said," David laughed, "but I caught one word, mik, which means friend." As for healthcare, Albania offers free public hospitals for citizens and affordable private clinics for foreigners, around $25–35 per visit. Common medicines are easy to find, and most doctors speak English. With international health insurance costing $50–60 per month, you can rest assured you'll be covered in Tirana or even transferred to Italy, just a 2-hour ferry ride away. Safety in Albania ranks high for the Balkans. Violent crime is rare. People are friendly. Tourist police patrol regularly in coastal areas. In Oricum, almost everyone knows each other, not in a small-town boredom way, but in a community way, where you can leave your keys at the door without a worry. And perhaps what makes Albania truly special is the feeling of being European, without needing to be rich. You get to live amid Mediterranean nature, while spending only a quarter of what it costs in Italy. You sip cappuccino on the street, eat authentic pasta, listen to the waves, and still have money left at the end of the month to send back to the US. Albania isn't a glamorous dream. It's a pleasant reality. A place where retirees don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to live well. Here, you don't need to retire to live. You just need to live to feel young again. And if you've ever wondered, is there a place in Europe where $500 is still enough for a peaceful life? Then Oricum is the answer. Imagine this. In the morning, you open your window, and the Adriatic Sea stretches blue before your eyes. In the afternoon, your electric bill costs the same as 2 cups of Starbucks coffee. If you're watching this video, I have one question for you. Would you dare to live 1 month in Europe with just 500? Leave a comment below, because maybe, just maybe, Albania will be where you find your second youth. 2. Philippines, Valencia, where the neighbors sing karaoke. Better than the real singers. Jim, 64, from Oregon, said that on his first night in Valencia, he was reading when his neighbor started singing My Way, so loud that the windows shook. A week later, he was singing along. A month later, he bought his own microphone, and now he says, I've never been this happy, even though no one ever hits the right notes. Valencia sits on the highlands of Negros Oriental, just 20 minutes from Dumaguete. The weather is cool all year round, peaceful and clean. The locals are friendly, prices are easy on the wallet, and the American expat community here is so large that you'll probably hear good morning more often than mabuhay. The cost of living is almost unbelievable. A one-bedroom house costs only $250–300 per month, utilities and internet about $50, and food around $150. That's roughly $500 a month for housing, meals, internet, and even a karaoke budget. Local meals cost $2 to $3, while a cappuccino in Dumaguete is just $1.50. The Philippines offers the SRRV, the Special Resident Retiree Visa, one of the most retiree-friendly programs in Asia. With just $800 in monthly income and a $10,000 deposit, you can live long-term, come and go freely, and your U.S. income won't be taxed. No need to invest. No need to buy property. You just need the desire to live slowly and laugh often. Healthcare here is affordable and reliable. Dumaguete has Silliman Medical Center, a private hospital with English-speaking doctors. A consultation costs only $20 or $25, and medicines are inexpensive and easy to find. Many Americans have lived here for over a decade without ever needing major insurance. How about safety? Valencia is the gentlest town in the Philippines. Theft is rare. People are kind. And if you forget your motorbike in front of the market, chances are it'll still be there the next morning. In the U.S., $500 only covers electricity and a few meals. Here, it's a full month. A house, smiles, and even those off-key but heartfelt songs. The Philippines isn't perfect. Sometimes there are power cuts, weak Wi-Fi, and noisy neighbors singing their hearts out. But when you see them smiling, you realize happiness doesn't need silence. It just needs sincerity. If you're watching this video, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments. If you lived in the Philippines, what song would you sing first? Because who knows, your second life might just begin with an off-key song filled with laughter. 1. Vietnam, Ninh Binh, where time flows. As slowly as its limestone rivers, every morning in Ninh Binh, when mist still drapes the rice fields, temple bells echo through limestone valleys. Locals lead their buffaloes to the fields, children ride bikes over small bridges, and if you stop, they'll greet you with a smile, simple, sincere, and needing no shared language. Ninh Binh was once the ancient capital of Vietnam, and today, it's where many foreigners come to retire. Not for luxury, but for something America has slowly lost: peace. With $500 a month, you can live comfortably here. A clean one-bedroom house near the Tamcock Center costs about $250 per month, with another $50 for utilities and internet, and around $150–180 for food. A morning bowl of pacho costs $1.50, iced milk coffee $0.80, and dinner with river fish, boiled vegetables, and a bowl of rice, less than $3. Visas to Vietnam are flexible. Americans get a 30-day e-visa exemption, and can extend or switch to a long-term visa through a travel agency, investment, or retirement channel. Taxes only apply to income earned within Vietnam, so if you live off foreign pensions or savings, you'll pay virtually no personal income tax. Healthcare in Ninh Binh includes both provincial hospitals and private clinics. For international-level service, the French hospital in Hanoi is just a 2-hour drive away. A private consultation costs 15-30 ton, with cheap, easily available medicine. With international insurance, you'll get high-standard care without worrying about large bills. Ninh Binh is also one of the safest regions in northern Vietnam. No violent crime, no protests, and locals treat foreigners like friends returning home. In the afternoons, children play soccer in the fields, the elderly visit temples, and you can ride your bike through Tam Coc, where limestone mountains mirror perfectly on the water's surface. The climate here has 4 distinct seasons: gentle spring, lush green summer, golden autumn, and a winter just cold enough to make you feel a little homesick. Ninh Binh rarely suffers from major storms like central Vietnam, and being surrounded by land, you almost never have to worry about natural disasters. Vietnam's economy is booming, but in places like Ninh Binh, life remains slow and genuine. People still grow vegetables, raise fish, and drink green tea in the morning. An American expat living here said, "I used to spend $3,000 a month chasing happiness in California. Here, $500 is enough for me to sit still, look at the sky, and smile." If Nicaragua is the golden hammock, Albania the simple Mediterranean, and the Philippines the joyful feast, then Vietnam is the place to breathe and to remember who you are. Because happiness is sometimes just a cup of tea, a slow afternoon, and a life where you don't have to count every dollar. If you feel you need a place to start over, come to Vietnam once to see how $500 can buy you space, time, and peace within your heart. 5 countries, 5 ways of living, but only one truth. $500 a month is no longer a limit. It's an opportunity. In the US, that amount barely pays a few bills. But in Nicaragua, Albania, Morocco, the Philippines, or Vietnam, it buys you a month of peace, a home, and a reason to smile every morning. The world still has places where time moves slowly. Neighbors greet each other every morning, and bills no longer make your heart race. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be afraid. You just need the courage to start over. Maybe you're not ready to leave America today, but by simply watching this video, you've already taken one step toward freedom. Leave a comment. "I will choose," followed by the country where you want to begin your next chapter. And if you believe $500 can buy peace, hit like and subscribe, because the next journey might just be the one that changes the rest of your life.